right, this is Real Talk Baseball. Carlos Baseball with me as always is Ernie Orange. We have a great show for you guys today. But before we start our show, I want to say what's up, Ernie. How's everything going on that side, man?
Hey, what's up, Carlos? Happy to be on the show, man. It's a super hot day out here in California, man. We're burning up. We're over 92 degrees right now here in LA. Just trying to stay cool and to watch some baseball, man. How about you?
Dude, I just watched some baseball this weekend. It was pretty cool. I guess we got to see some drama out there and
Yeah,
with the Yankees again, and the Rays, and then we got to see the Dodgers go out to Boston, which was pretty cool. We'll go
it's
over
pretty
that
cool, man.
when
You're
we
missed
have the.
out.
I know I should have
You're
gone.
supposed to be there out there.
I
Well, I
should
thought you
have
were going to
been
go to
there.
Boston.
I should have been there. There was a lot of people that I knew that was out there. They were out there like representing, but I mean, it'll be a next time. It'll be a next time.
For sure.
I'll be able to go.
You'll have more
Yeah,
opportunities going now with the change of the new games now that are being played this every year now.
yeah. Maybe next year I'll try to see the Yankees. Try to go to Yankee Stadium. You've been to Yankee Stadium already, right?
Yeah, it was great. I went to Yankee Red Sox. Didn't really get to see the Angels, but we still got to see a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, yeah.
Get to see an old time rivalry like that.
Well, let me ask you this: how was the atmosphere with the Yankees and Red Sox? Since it's an old time rivalry.
It was too early. It was an April game, but you
Ah,
could feel the tension between the fans. You could see the hate within one another.
I
I
bet.
was there with an Ohtani jersey. People thought I was rocking a Red Sox jersey, and had to tell them, it's Ohtani, the
Yeah,
GOAT. Make
yeah.
sure you recognize the real GOAT out here in baseball.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I just went to the gym and it's like, I was telling you before the show, and I just want to go ahead and share it here because there's a lot of people that want to go to the gym and sometimes feel like I don't want to go because there's people they're rude in there, right? So I always say hi to the guy in the front, like how's it going, like and whoever it is, doesn't matter. It could be a girl, it could be a guy, and they always give me the cold shoulder. They never say what's up. So it's one of those things that I feel like if you're gonna be in the front desk, you should be more have a smile, more engaging with people. Try to make that person feel comfortable going in because a gym is not a place that anybody can just go and feel themselves until they start lifting like 2 weeks, 3 weeks into a month. They start feeling a little bit comfortable. Some of those people reach that month and then they quit. So
Yeah.
it's. I mean, has it ever happened to you, or I'm the only one?
I've seen it happen. I kind of don't acknowledge them until they acknowledge me. That's one of the things. I just walk in. I kind of just sign in and walk in, and I have my
Yeah.
earphones already on, just kind of already trying to get a good pump. So if they say hi to me, I'll say hi, but I'm not really looking for that acknowledgement sometimes. But hey, man, you're probably scaring them with them gains out there. You're
I got
pulling
I
up with
got
those
no
tank
gains.
tops. You're putting up with those tank tops, and you're scaring them with them big arms, man.
No, no, no. It's none of that. It's just I just feel like it's like you just need to lighten up. There's a lot of kids going out there and they feel already intimidated. And when having someone like that, it kind of ruins everything. All right, let's move on, man. Let's go into what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about the NL recap, of course, of last week, the series. We're going to go into the MVP. So there's been a change in that in the National League, and we'll talk about the AL MVP as well. We'll go into the Angels. CJ Wilson let some tweets out, and we'll talk about that. Ernie, you being an Angels fan, I know you're kind of ticked off at that, but we'll go into that and we'll discuss it with more detail. And then we're going to talk about robots, umpires. Are we ready for that? Do we want that? And me and Ernie will discuss that as well. We'll do the Did You Know? And then at the end, we'll do Ernie Trivia. It's his turn to see what he knows about his Angels, and we'll go through that. But let's go into the recap. And we're gonna start with the AL. So I'll go ahead and put the standings up here while you go through the scores and who won those series.
For sure. So the American League, to get that started this week, it was an amazing one. To get it started, the first game of the weekend was the Rockies Orioles. The Orioles went ahead and took two out of three games from the Rockies, and they currently sit 2 games ahead of the Rays for the AL East. So they're looking pretty good out there. You're still with 81 wins. Who would have saw that coming from the Orioles? The next game, we have the Guardians and the Blue Jays. The Guardians took 2 out of 3 games in Toronto. Blue Jays currently catch themselves 2.5 of that last wildcard spot, and it's getting tougher and tougher every time, with the AL West battling it out. That last spot is looking harder and harder to get.
Yeah.
And at the next game, we had the A's and White Sox, 2 teams that are already out of contention, but they had a 4-game series and they split both games. So it was a 2-2 against one another. The following series was also a 4-game series, was the Rangers and Twins. The Twins took 3 out of the 4 games from the Rangers this weekend. And the Rangers' struggles continued to happen and catch themselves a game back from the Mariners now after being on top of the division all season. So this was
Dude,
a huge heartbreaker for the Rangers. Just can't
I,
have 8-game losing streak. What is going on with them?
dude, I don't want to cut you off because I know we have to go through all the scores, but didn't we predict this that they were going to hit that second place? And boom, we just talked about it last week, and they're already in first place. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, man, we're witches out here. We know how to guess what's going to happen, man. What the hell? But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was just looking that way. The Mariners were coming in hot. The Rangers were on the decline, and that's how baseball works. And this is where the time of the year where teams are starting to finally getting banged up, and there's other teams that are just catching fire, and that's the Mariners right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Mariners
Yep.
trying to win the division since 2001. Would be 22 years since the last division being won. It's a long time ago. And then the following, since we're talking about the Mariners, let's go Royals and Mariners. The Mariners went ahead and swept the Royals over the weekend, and they are in first place and have been 9-1 since the last 10 games. Wow. So 9 wins out of the last 10 games is pretty impressive, you ask me.
It is.
And then we had the Rays and Yankees this weekend, which has been like the new rival for the Yankees. The Rays have taken 2 out of the 3 games of the Yankees. The bench is cleared yesterday twice, Carlos, when the Rosarena got hit with a pitch. And it seems like the Yankee fans and the Rays fans like, what the hell's going on with these teams? Both teams just hate one another. Abreu was out there trying to throw some hands. Jose Siri came out of the dugout ready to punch somebody too. It was crazy. It's like, and then Brandon Lowe, if I'm not mistaken, made a comment saying like, why should we be arguing with the last place team Yankees? So damn, that was like a harsh one.
That's a low blow right there.
That was a huge low blow for the Yankees. Which was kind of funny to hear, to be honest.
It is, and that's what they're trying to create. They're trying to create a little rivalry so they can see more fans go out to the games, which is pretty cool. I'm interested in what happening out there.
And I see the frustration of the Rays. They're trying to fight for that first place, and they're in the mix of the playoffs. And the Yankees are out here hitting batters. They're not pretty happy with that. The Rays want to make sure they stay healthy for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And then we have another following game, the Tigers and Astros. The Astros took two games out of 3 from the Tigers, and they catch themselves 1 game back from the Mariners. So looks like the Rangers and Astros are going to fight it out for that second spot, or they'll either fight for that division spot. So we'll see what happens. But the final series from the AL this weekend was the Dodgers-Red Sox. Like we said, a lot of Dodger fans out there in Fenway this weekend. But Dodgers took 2 out of the 3 games this week, and it was a return of Mookie Betts to Fenway Park. What an amazing gesture to see from the Red Sox fans. They clapped for him. They were happy to see him back after this long departure. But, man, what an amazing moment for Mookie. And not only that, yesterday he hit one out of the Green Monster, which was awesome to see as well. So his return to Fenway was nice, taking 2 out of the 3 games out of Boston.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I didn't know that all these scores were happening, which is pretty cool that we do see that the Wild West is happening in the AL. And the Mariners took that spot. And I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just I wanted to talk about it because we predicted that last week. So
we really did.
And that's one of the things that when you hear that, you get excited. So I got excited right there. So I had to cut you off. But let's get into the NL. And the NL, we do have the standings here, and I have them on. So we'll go into the Angels Mets. Angels took 2 out of 3 on that one. And the Angels are not playing that well. They're 4 of their last 10. And we'll go into the next series. We got the Cubs, the Pirates. Cubs took 3 out of the 4. They're in a 7-3 run out of the 10 games, which is pretty good. That's why they're still in the playoff mix in the second spot in the wild card. Then you have the Cardinals and the Phillies. The Cardinals aren't going anywhere. They got swept. But the Phillies are playing good baseball. Where they're in their last 10, they're 7-3, which is really good. And, I mean, it's a long ways for them to catch up to Braves, but they are leading in the wild card. They're up 3.5 in that one. Then we went into the Nationals and Marlins, which the Marlins are not doing so well. They got beat by the Padres, and now they're getting beat by the Nationals. And the Nationals are playing good baseball. I know they're not going to make it to the playoffs, but they're tied with the Padres in the wild card spot all the way at the bottom, 8 games back. And I feel like if they had the right team, I could probably be like, all right, they got something going into the end of the season. They can probably get it going next year. Kind of what the Marlins did, but the Marlins are slowly dying. They're 3 of their last 10, and that's not looking good for the Marlins because they are a playoff contending team. They're 3 games behind in the wild card. And then you have the Reds and the Diamondbacks. They had a 4-game set on that one. And the Reds, they started a little hot. Now they're a half game back. They're not playing all that well. The D-backs took 3 out of those 4, and they're in an 8-2 run, which is pretty good. That's what you need going into the playoffs. And right now is the time to start doing it because they're already kind of not too close in the West, but in the wild card, they have a chance to even take that first spot. And then we go into the Braves Giants. The Braves took 2 out of 3 of that one. The Braves are playing good baseball, as I mentioned before. They're in first place in the East. They're 12.5 in front of Philadelphia. They're in the 7-3 out of the 10 games, last 10 games. And then the Giants, last week they were in second place in that wild card spot. And I keep asking, what do the Giants have to be in that spot? Now they're showing their real colors. They're playing. And of course, I'm a Dodger fan and I'm going to hate the Giants. So right now I feel happy that they're 3 of their last 10 and they suck. I mean, I just want to I hope they don't make the playoffs. So anyway, I didn't talk about the Padres, did I? The Padres and Brewers, they got swept out there in Milwaukee, and this is kind of looking like the dead end for the Padres, the last straw. And there was a video out there which I'm gonna go ahead and post now because I just feel like the frustration out there in San Diego with the fans, the players, is just too much right now. And I think this is the last straw. I feel like this is it for them. And I mean, only time will tell. There's still a month of baseball to go, but you never know, right? Like I mentioned 2 shows or 3 shows before that the Giants came back after being 11 games out of the first place. They came back and beat the Dodgers, and they won the division. So the Padres could still do the same, but some terrible news happened to them too, which Jude Darvish is going to the IL. He has an inflamed elbow, and it looks like it's going to be Tommy John. So now you have Musgrove off, and now you have Jude Darvish. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. So
it's going to be time to start selling this offseason, man. These are some huge contracts coming up, and who knows if you could continue paying these big-time money for these guys, especially after underperforming all season.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of looking at because I'm like, what's going on with the Padres? Why are they really not performing? And you're looking at all the stars, and we've talked about it so much on this show to where it's like, when are they going to step up? When are they going to show up? And they haven't. You're seeing these little injuries to players. They're not little because that's a significant injury. Swollen elbow, that could be Tommy John, in-season surgery, and they have him for another 5 years. So This team is going to be ready. If you're a Padre fan out there, like, if they're not making the playoffs this year, there is always next year. You're going to have the same team. You're going to be able to grow from that. You're going to have some additions. And I mean, there's baseball every year unless there's a lockout, right? And that's how it is. But if you're a Padre fan, don't give up. Just keep going.
Don't listen. That's
yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the next topic, dude. And I think this one's an important one. Everybody's talking about it. How Mookie Betts has taken over the MVP favorite, and this is one of the things where I feel like, okay, if Mookie Betts really took that spot, are we agreeing on that or disagreeing on that? And I'll go ahead and put these numbers up here.
Nah, man, I totally have Acuna still winning the MVP this season, Carlos. I think he's just been the most consistent hitter all season. This guy has played every game all season. He's been hit twice pretty severely, and he's still been managing to be up there the next game to play. And he has 171 hits, projected to have over 200 hits. Right now he's at 28 home runs, but he's going to get over 30 easily in the next month of baseball. And RBIs is not that great, but he's a leadoff hitter, right? And you're not expecting a leadoff hitter to have over 100 RBIs. And this has been the most impressive stat so far. He has 59 stolen bases. He is definitely going to get over 60 easily. This guy's on his way to be the first 30 home run, 60 stolen base player in a season. It's never been done. It'll be the first time in the MLB. And like Joe Rivera said, he agrees with me, Carlos. So don't say Mookie Betts. I know you're going for the hometown favorite. But the guy is batting 333, Carlos. And not to mention, the last guy to ever have a 30-50 season was Barry Bonds when he was much younger with the Pirates. So you're watching greatness right now, and we just need to appreciate it a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, Mookie Betts is having a tremendous season, Carlos, and it's having one of the greatest second halves we've ever seen. He has just been announced player of the week. But 35 home runs and 91 RBIs, it's great. It's a pretty good season. He's delivering and performing so great, but it's just one of those things. Mookie Betts does this every year. And, Ronald Acuna, coming after a big injury in 2021 and able to persevere these injuries and still manage to get these statistics, Carlos, I'm truly impressed by this guy. And he's a one in a many generation type players.
Yeah, and I agree. He's a really good player, and I'm not taking that away from him because he is a leader. He has the Braves in first place. He's doing really good. But I have to go with the hometown kid, and only because he's a Dodger, I'm doing it because everybody that's going for their team, of course, they're gonna say, "Hey, this player's a lot better." And like Robert's saying, he is Robert. I'm sorry, Joe, he's a Braves fan, and of course he's going to say Acuna, and rightfully so. You have the right to say that, but I have to say, and you said he's a leadoff hitter. Mookie Betts is a leadoff hitter as well. So you got to take that into account. He has 90 RBIs in that spot. That's not easy to do. You're looking at him as a right fielder, second baseman, even shortstop. You're playing three different spots every game. You don't know where he's going to go. That makes a player valuable. I'm not saying Acuna's not, but you're adding more value to your team because you can play different positions. And that's really great. So now adding to that, I feel because he's not in the East Coast, he is known in the East Coast, but I feel like he's not in the East Coast. A lot of people out there is not getting, not knowing what Betts is doing. So Acuna does have that edge. So because we saw this all morning, I'm pretty sure everybody on this show has seen that he's doing a lot better, and he is the favorite right now to win the MVP. I still feel Acuna could take the edge. I did have a lot of other people say that Freddie Freeman might take over all these, and we're not even talking about Freddie Freeman. So
That's true. Yeah, Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson also just right behind
exactly,
him, having
yeah,
tremendous seasons. Dodgers Braves, what a just like Jamal said, this weekend's series is going to be an amazing one. I'm so looking forward to it, and we're going to see who's really the better team out there. And maybe the Dodgers could catch up for first place. But the thing that's impressed me the most, Mookie Carlos, has been the way he has so many leadoff home runs this year. It seems like he always starts the game with a home run. And not only that, just the ability to be able to play in short and second bases here. Like,
yeah,
he sees how the Dodgers are struggling with the infield, given with the injuries. This guy has
yeah,
still managed just to come in there and play second and shortstop. Whatever the team needs him, he's there to play. And that's pretty impressive, if you ask me,
yeah.
especially a guy that's playing outfield his whole life.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, and it's hard to choose who you're gonna go for. So I'm a Dodger fan, and I'm gonna have to go with Mookie. But I'm still saying Acuna is really good. And as a baseball fan, that's really hard to choose a different player and really look at it. I'm looking at other stuff where I'm looking at the positions where Mookie Betts is playing, and I think I give Mookie Betts the MVP because of that. But Acuna is having I mean, he's going to be a 60-30, 60 stolen bases, 30 home runs. That's
Yep.
amazing. When is that? When has that happened? It hasn't happened in our lifetime, so that's going to be really good. What's up, Jamal? What's up, Joel? I just wanted to get into this little debate before we said what's up to you guys, but I guess both of you guys, Joel and Jamal, are choosing Acuna, which is rightfully so. Like, why not? It's going to be a toss up. It's going to be a crazy one. Whoever finishes being MVP, it's not going to be a easy pick for these riders this year. So
It's definitely going to come down to this last month of baseball, and we're going to see who's going to win it. Whoever has the best September is going to take over, to be honest.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
and I just we'll just see what happens. You got Acuna, I got Betts. We'll see at the end of the season who wins.
Hey,
And
man, two great players. You can't go wrong with either or to start your team. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And if
Start.
if look, if none of these two win, and Freddie Freeman was to win this because he's having a good year as well. Matt
Dude,
Olson is
they're
having a
killing
good
it.
year as well. Yeah. So it's either between a Dodger or a Braves player. So we'll see who wins that one.
Hey,
Let's go to the
since we're in
go
LA,
ahead.
we gotta check out the Braves Dodger series this weekend.
Oh, hey, I'm going to Friday night's game, so
Are
I'll
you
be out there.
nice?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out with Joe. He's on here, so
Cool,
he
cool,
gave me the
cool.
invite. Thanks for the invite, but we'll be out
Uh,
there
I'm gonna tell
representing.
Joe TFTI.
Yeah, so we'll be out there at Dodger Stadium. There's a 4-game series, an important 4-game series, or maybe a sneak peek to the NLCS.
CS.
CS. So we'll see what happens with that one. Let's go to the AL, and I think there's no debate here. I just feel like your boy Ohtani, he's on top. I've said it a lot, dude. I said this man is going to be the MVP from here on out. He should be. He should be.
I mean, he should have won last year, Carlos. Like he just
Right?
demonstrated that what he does is like impossible to do, right?
Yeah.
The numbers. He's 44 home runs, 92 RBIs, batting 305. There's nobody near him in the MLB debate right now. Adolis Garcia, players like that, Marcus Simeon, Matt Chapman, nowhere near to his numbers. And you're talking about a guy that also pitches, right? And he has 10 games won already this season. What can the man do? He's a unicorn. He's a special player. And unfortunately, should we move to the next news? There is terrible news that he got a UCL injury. He's still looking to what he's going to possibly do, either Tommy John or try to go to another rehab. Thursday night was very terrible for me. It was 10:30 at night. I was trying to catch some sleep because I had to work early the next day. And I couldn't sleep all night knowing that Ohtani was done. Even as an Angel fan, I know he is leaving the Angels, but it was sad to see that his baseball career, has taken a hit because he's not going to be able to pitch next season, Carlos. And that was kind of hard to see, man. I want to witness greatness, and I feel like you want to be able to witness greatness in your generation while you're growing up watching baseball, right? So
of course. And I feel like the thing would happen with Ohtani, and I'm still talking about him being MVP, even though he does have that injury. No doubt he's an MVP because it's only the last a month and a half left for the season to be over. There's no one that's coming close to him. Judge is not performing like he was performing last year. He had all these injuries. You have all these other players that are having good seasons, but not to the point where he's making the difference in their team. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people think that MVP is an individual stat. It's not. MVP means you're performing to make your team better. And this, what we talked about, Acuna and Betts, those two players are making their teams a lot better than what they are. And they're they're leaders, and Otani's a leader. It's just he needs a little bit of more surrounding cast for him to perform, because every time he's out there, he's competing. So, which brings me to the go for it.
I have a question for you. Sorry to interrupt you, but do you think Ohtani got overworked this season?
You know what? Because
now
that's a good question.
I feel like people are just pointing fingers now. Like the GM's like, well, we told him to get imaging, and then Ohtani didn't want to get the imaging, so he's the reason why he has UCL. Like nobody could see what the injury was going to happen. Like we didn't know UCLs were going to hit again.
It's a great question because we've talked about the change of pace in the game with the time, with how many seconds you have to throw to get ready, and all these things. So that's a factor. So now we know this season we're going to get to see all those injuries because of players rushing, not letting their arm rest, or getting into the plate. Like I want to say Machado, since we showed that video, he was one of the first players that got called with that with that rule remember in spring training, right. And then even into the season he was struggling with it. So who knows, he might be struggling with it as we speak because the Padres aren't doing so well. But look, you're looking at Ohtani. He got injured. Is this his second time getting injured? He's not going to pitch next year, but he's still gonna hit. And this is what I feel like, pointing fingers. It could be that, but then you got to look at the rules too. The rules did change a lot. We talked about the guy from the Blue Jays that went down to the minors, Manoah. He hasn't pitched all that great since that started.
Right. And how many pitches have gone down for Tommy John just this season?
Yeah. So it's rushing.
There's more than 10 pitchers I could name right now that have gone through about to go to Tommy John and will be missing next season. So it's kind of becoming a normal thing these days, and it's kind of hurting all these pitchers for their future. It's amazing that what Ohtani could still do with a torn UCL. The guy is still batting out there, still playing every day. This guy's durability is crazy, man. This guy, I know people want to point fingers and blame the Angels organization, but the guy wants to play every day. And that's the reason why he chose the Angels when he came over here, because they were the only team willing to let him play. I know Mike Social was a little bit more careful. When he was an Angels manager, he would give him like a rest day the following day after he pitched, and would give him a rest day before he pitched. With Bill Nevin, it's just been like play every day. We don't really care. We just need to win. We're so desperate to get to the playoffs, and maybe they overworked them just a tiny bit. And, even though they have a 6-man rotation, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate. Things do happen in baseball, and these UCL tears are ruining the game of baseball. Darn Tommy John.
Yeah. So it brings to the next question, and we all know there's no escaping this question, and I'm going to ask you, do you feel like this is going to take a hit on his contract next year, or are they going to be able to work something out to where he gets incentives to reach that big contract everybody's talking about?
Right. I mean, the guy is still deserving. Is he going to lose out on some money? Yes. His contract may no longer be like the $600-700 million where people were talking about, but this guy is still easily a $450-500 million man, Carlos. the things he could still do. The past 3 seasons, he's hit over 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. He's still one of the greatest DH hitters, even though you're just going to have him for an off year. Hey, maybe make it incentive-based contract. If you
Yeah.
perform this type of way, we take us to the playoffs, you get paid $10 more million. But I don't think Ohtani's really worried that much about the money, Carlos. I don't think he's that type of money, like hungry for the money type of guy. I think he just loves the game of baseball, and he's going to take a good contract regardless. And I know some team's going to offer him that. And the only thing that I know, Ohtani, even though his contract's going to go decrease because of this injury, the guy is still going to make so much money just based on commercials, advertisements, all that stuff, Carlos. He's going to probably have his own signature baseball shoe watch. And like the amount of money he's still going to get outside of that, like the guy is making $100 million this year, Carlos. Like his contract's just $30 million for baseball, but he's still like making over 60, 70 million just in advertisement and ads. I'm not sure if you guys watch Angel games these days, but all the advertisement are in Japanese language. And it's just for Ohtani. The amount of people he brings into the stadium, the revenue you're going to bring in for your team. Man, he's like the game changer. Everybody wants to see Ohtani now.
Yeah. I went to see Ohtani. Why not? I went to see Ohtani. I got the Ohtani Trout bobblehead. Two of the greatest players to ever play the game in our generation, because it's true. And we got to see the WBC, which was great as well. So, I mean, who knows, right? What's going to happen next year? Who's going to sign them? They're saying that the Dodgers are still the front runners and they're favorites for to get Ohtani. But you still have the Yankees. You still have the Mets, even though the Mets said that they're 2-3 years away from becoming the team to go to the playoffs. And then you still have the Braves. I'm going to throw that one out there because a lot of people say that it's just the Yankees, Dodgers, Giants, and I forget the Mets. But the Braves has money because we talked about it last year, how they sign these low contracts players and they have all this money to sign Ohtani. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I know it sucks for you because you're an Angels fan and you wanted to stay there. But
it's okay, man. I understand. It's a business, guys, and
it's a business,
and that's how it works. You know, if your player, even though you already got the best out of him, right, and you paid him, underpaid him this whole time, it's gonna be really hard to convince this guy, especially if you didn't win none of this the whole time he was there. You know,
that's true. That's true.
You had Mike try, he couldn't win anything, so he's gonna leave, Carlos. He's gonna go somewhere he could win.
Yeah. So you said pointing fingers, and this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and we had a conversation on it. Artie Moreno, is that one of the things that Angels hate right now? They hate their owner because they're not getting what they want. They're getting players, but these players are getting injured. And you said pointing fingers. Are you pointing fingers?
You know what? I think it's time, Carlos. Artie Moreno, it's just been a dumpster fire ever since he's been the owner, man. He bought the team after the World Series after 2000. I think the year 2004. He's paid for some major big contracts. The only successful one he's had was with Vladimir Guerrero. He was the only guy to ever win an MVP. But other than that, I can name you a bunch of contracts just went to waste. Like start off with Gary Matthews Jr. Got a big deal, a bust. We got Anthony Rendon, bust. Josh Hamilton, bust. Let's see, Zach Cozart. Remember him?
I remember him. Yeah.
What a bust. Albert Pujols didn't do so great. And now we have a pitcher, CJ Wilson, which also didn't do so great with the Angels. And he threw out a lot of tweets calling out the Angels organization, how terrible it really is. He just went on a rant of how bad the Angels organization is. You know, if you're willing to spend all this money on these contracts, why are you not willing to spend for what the players really need? And I'm not so sure what you guys saw, but CJ Wilson basically said that they were not fed breakfast. They were really no crazy training regimen. They just told him run it first and you'll be in great shape. That was a pretty funny one, Malik. And then there was another one basically saying that Albert Pujols needed a special treadmill because he was dealing with some injuries. Every team had one, and the Angels, Artie Moreno was just being a cheap ass and was like, nah, we can't afford that right now.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that.
This guy just wants to put seats in the stadium. He wants to get these big names just because we're in LA, and he just wants to fill the stadiums. But I don't feel like he's treating the players the way they need, and that's why they're underperforming. And it's a total different story if you talk to them if they go to the Dodgers.
That's true. That's true. And this is where a lot of organizations fail to understand that it's not just about putting the team on the field. It's about keeping them in line and keeping them healthy, keeping them stretched, keeping them happy, and having a happy environment in that clubhouse can take you a lot of places, So, it's easy to say when you have you're rooting for a team that's, has been playing good baseball for the past couple of years, or even more than a couple of years. From since I remember, I think the Dodgers are in the playoffs almost every year, right?
Right.
But I remember those years in the Frank McCourt era, which they weren't doing really good, and that's just the thing that kind of bothers the Dodger fans. And once we're right now where we're at, the champion type caliber team, you feel like cool. This is what we want to see every year. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
true. I forgot
as
totally
for you,
about that.
yeah. So
How Frank
at
McCourt
looking
left
at
and the whole organization changed.
yeah. So it changed. So that's what I'm saying. If the Angels were decide to like sell the team, which at the beginning of the season, that's what it was looking like, right? But then he just came out with the big news and said, "No, I'm not going to sell," and that kind of puts a little bit of question mark on each Angel fan and saying, "You said you were going to sell, man. We wanted someone else to buy the team so they can go a different direction, but it didn't happen that way, and it sucks." But I mean, hold on, man. It's a business. We just said it's a business, and it'll change as time goes by. I know it's not easy to root for a team that's not, performing, but it'll get there. It'll get there. And it's
For
kind of
sure.
like where the A's, they just submitted their relocation um, paperwork to MLB to see if they can move somewhere else. They don't say where to. I mean, everybody knows it's Nevada, but they haven't released what state they want to move to, and if the MLB has said it's okay for them to move there. But we'll see as time goes by. Maybe at the
Man,
end of the season, we'll see what happens with that. But
I'm really hoping that Artie Moreno just decides to tell the team. I feel like every Angel fan will tell you they're ready to see the team be under new management. And, it's just time, Carlos. If you were already considering selling, just go ahead and sell it. You're just not in the
yeah,
right mindset.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's hard to
But
support the Angels with an owner like that.
dude, that's how it was with the Dodger fans with Frank McCourt. It wasn't good. A lot of people kind of started a little boycott to not go to the games,
That's how I
and
feel now.
yeah,
As much
yeah.
as I still want to see Ohtani because this is last season, it's hard to me to put my money into an owner that is not bringing the best product out there for us.
Yeah, and it's right. It's okay. We've been talking a lot about the Angels, dude. That's crazy. Like, that's good though,
And we
and that's
suck.
good. No, man, we got to bring it up. We got to bring it up, and we talk all baseball here. So if you do have a question, and I do see like 5 people on here, I better see 5 likes. Hopefully you're liking what you're seeing, and if you don't, put a comment on here and say, hey, you guys suck or whatever. We'll fix it. That's the whole point of this show.
Yeah.
To have that fan interaction, because it's always great to talk baseball. All
Hey,
right.
and I also wanted to bring up if you're watching this later on, make sure to hit the notification bell on your YouTube channel. It looks like there's been some settings change. You just want to make sure you stay up to date with your baseball news. Like I feel like I've been missing out on Friday's show because I'm not getting the notification bell on my phone. So I'm falling behind on my fantasy news.
Yeah, and that is the fantasy show. So go ahead and hit that bell so you can get that reminder. I know I just hit it, so we'll see if it pops up for my Friday because it hasn't been working either. So I think YouTube had a change of heart, and you gotta have to go back and hit that setting again. So I
Right.
guess it did a little refresh. Let's keep going, man. We have more baseball to talk about, and this one's kind of like one of the things where I feel a lot of people might agree or disagree with us on this one, but robots, are we ready for robots to be the umpires in the back of the plate? So I'll ask you this: Are you for the robot umpires?
I have kind of mixed feelings for it. I'm ready to see the right calls be made. There are some impactful games, and I just feel like the umpires really ruin the game sometimes. But now, if you go into robots, I totally think that it's going to be such a boring game having like just a robot telling you if it's a strike or ball. Like nobody's going to really pay attention as fans. I don't know. Sometimes we like to talk smack to the Blues and be like, "Man, you suck," or
Yeah,
talk smack about Angel Hernandez, him missing the strike zone all the time. But if you guys follow umpire scorecards on Twitter, they basically analyze every MLB game from every day, and they give you the percentage of accuracy based on the umpire of the day. They also tell you the three most important missed calls of the day. They basically analyze the whole game, and it's pretty amazing to see how invested these guys are in to like go
yeah,
to stat every pitch. Carlos, that's amazing.
that
And
is amazing.
and the
Yeah,
funny thing is that most of these umpires are over 90% of accuracy. Like they're around the average of 93, 94%. And that's pretty good if you ask me. So
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to go to Robo Umpires knowing that they're that accurate. I feel the game has to change in a way where the team has at least 3 challenges.
yeah,
So that way, if it goes down to the 8th or 9th inning, you got bases loaded, it's 3-2. And if you feel that was a ball, let's go ahead and challenge that. That way you have that feeling to know
yeah,
that, hey, I make the right call.
yeah,
Oh, thanks, Jamal. Hey, Ernie, keep your head up. The Angels stink with the O's, but have finally produced a winning team there. Hey, man,
yeah,
thanks, Jamal. I appreciate it, man. I know as baseball fans, sometimes it could let you down. Your team it could be a little frustrating, but you're still there supporting no matter what happens, man. And
yeah.
that's why we love baseball, because no matter how sorry your team is, you'll still watch and support. But there's also amazing stories out there you could watch, like the O's this year.
Yeah, yeah. And we have Joel saying no, he's not ready for that, or he doesn't want that. And then we have Jamal again saying no for that. And I'll tell you, I'll give you my 2 cents on this because I feel like the game has gone away from not putting the robots in, which is good because I like to have the human instinct out there. I know there's been calls in the past where I've been like, man, freaking ump, you're like, get off your knees, you're blowing the game, dude. Like, come on. But it's just I feel like the human instinct, it needs to stay out there. I know when we look at the strike zone and we're saying, "Oh, that ball was off the plate." These are some big old dudes out there. They're 6'5", 6'7" Like, come on, man. They're covering the whole plate. Me as a 5'9", covering that plate, trying to hit that outside pitch, I could still do it. Imagine these big old dudes, trying to hit that 90-mile, 100-mile-per-hour fastball coming down the pipe sometimes for them. It's just I feel like we need to stretch out the strike zone. And if we go robot, we're gonna be challenging every strike. Nah, man, it's just gonna slow the
Nah,
game down. So the instinct for me is the human instinct for me is I like it. I don't even challenging for me. I don't think that should be part of it. I think if it's a strike, if it's a strike, it's kind of like that gray area of that half swing. Did he go? Did he not go? It's up to the first base, third base umpire to say he did go, he didn't go. But I just feel like it's part of the game. I think if they go robot, it'll lose a lot of fans and I don't want that. But I mean, it just happens like that, man. What's up, Jamal? What is he saying? With all the Tommy
so,
John surgeries, we may need robot pitchers. Yeah, that's true. They put the batting cage out there so we could just throw it down the pipe. 120 mile per hours. I'm down with that. See who hits it the furthest.
oh man, that's pretty
But
funny, Jamal.
yeah, but that's crazy, dude. Like I just feel like we'll be taken away from the game, and I don't
Yeah,
want that. I don't want that.
you're totally right. It would just change the game a little bit, like with the robots being involved. I don't know if I'm gonna be watching the game the same as with the umpire being back there.
Yeah,
So and I know it's not really going so well in AAA, and I know the MLB has just announced that 2024 will not have robot umpires. I think they're still trying to figure out what is the best way to get this right, and there's
yeah,
been a lot of discussions with the MLB, commissioner, and trying to find the right way to find that. But
yeah.
man, we'll see what happens. But 2024 will still not have robo umpires.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to it. There's been two, what is it, 10 umpires, 10 new umpires because of people being retired or they just moved on and they've been promoted from AAA. So we got to give them a little bit of time to get adjusted to the MLB rules because you're on the big leagues now. You made it that way, and we got to trust these people's eyes sometimes. Sometimes it can be deceiving when the catcher's moving and he's trying to frame it, and that's part of the game. So the umpire needs to get a little bit more credit than what he is right now. We're looking at the strike zone from our TV, and we're saying that was outside the plate, but you're not the one standing back there, and we're not. Another thing is, are we really gonna put our trust on the TV and giving us that strike zone?
Yeah,
Sometimes it could be a little off, so
could
it
be
can go for
misleading.
you, it can go for you or against you, like I said. So I just like that. I just like that it's down the pipe and I'm like, well, that was a ball. He didn't count it. Like, what the hell? We could have got out of the inning, and then you get into it.
And
You
Carlos,
get into the game.
you know how difficult umpiring school is to make it to the major league level.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very difficult. It's like tough school. You have to be like an amazing umpire out there. You have
yeah,
to start from like little league to high school to college, and you got to work your ranks by the minor leagues, and then you still have to make it to the MLB. And you have to be a pretty goddamn great umpire to make it even up to the MLB, man. So
yeah. So
it's
if you
tough
think
out
we're
there.
nerds of baseball, imagine these umpires. These umpires are like nerds of the rules. Like every detail, they know it. They know it, and they need to know it. But like
Yeah, man.
I don't know. They need to know it from the back of their hand. They're like, oh, you know what? No, like that balk that happened in Dodger Stadium with the Astros. How the hell did he see that? Once you play
Yeah.
slow motion, you see he moved a little bit, but no, this guy at second base caught him. He's like, no, that's a balk. You know.
Hey, Carlos,
So
I'm gonna become an umpire, man. The MLB Compton Academy has a umpiring school here, man. We should try it out.
I know we should try it out. I just don't like people hating on me, so I don't think I'll do good. What's up,
Nah,
fellas?
man.
What's up, Javi? How's it going, man? Everything good over there? Hope so, man. Everything good over here. It's just a little hot, but we're all right. We're on the show live, and thanks for joining us, man. Did I miss something? I think I did.
He said he feels like the robots will mess with history with the game.
Yeah,
Since it's America's national pastime, he feels the robots will mess it up. His
yeah.
just his opinion. He said.
No, that's good, dude. And that's the thing that those we're older generation of baseball, the new generation of baseball. It's gonna be a little difficult to get on the same page as we are because every year the game is getting played a little bit different. Every year the game is getting played at a faster pace. Every year we're finding new exercises or new ways of throwing the ball. Like so it's gonna happen, but if we're trying to slow the game down, speed up the game, it's not going to help some of these players. And hopefully we just feel like
Yeah, man.
we
A lot of
can
people are gonna
continue.
hate base. A lot of people even hate the new rules this season, man. All the
Yeah.
old timers are like not a big fan of the bigger bases.
Yeah.
They're not a big fans of the pace of the game. They feel like they're spending too much money for tickets and only spending 2 hours at the stadium. By the
Yeah.
time you go get your michelada or your beer, 20 minutes in line, and you already missed 2 innings. So people are not having it, man.
No.
But it is increased. A lot of more fans are watching the game. So
Yeah.
we do need to get the new generation to watch. So if that's what makes them watch the game, I'm all for it.
Do you think this is a more sport for a certain age? When you reach a certain age, you start getting more into it? Or do you feel like if you didn't get into it as a kid, you're not going to get into it at all?
No, man, I think it can happen anytime, Carlos. As
Okay.
long as you invest, it doesn't matter. Like if you're with somebody that could teach you the game, or like a friend or somebody that could like show you a little bit about the game, I think you'll get into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
matter the
think so
age.
too. I think so too. I think you can get a fan interested in the game if you just take them to a ballpark, smell the grass, or see a play happen. Like, look, this play never happens, and you're lucky you got to see it in your
Yeah.
first try. Like, or it also depends the vibe and the experience you get from it, and hopefully that gets better. And
Not,
I mean, we'll see what happens.
not only that, try to take somebody for the first time to see a playoff game. Get that
Mm.
playoff experience, man. It's a different ball game than a regular season game.
Yeah, it is. I agree. All right, let's go into the next one, man. And should we do the trivia or should we do the did you know before, or what do we do next? What do we do next? I think we should do the
Let's do the
trivia.
trivia. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
ready for
let's
the
do
trivia.
trivia.
I've been waiting for
All
this
right.
all day. See what you got for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we'll go into that one because I know that uh there's people that have been saying, "Oh, I like the did you know? I didn't know that," and I learned more when that happens. So the did you know segment is for people that haven't seen us or seen this show, and you're on here right now. Is so we can give you a little bit of the pastime for you to kind of whenever you do the immaculate grid or whatever, that'll help. So let's get into it. In 2002, the Angels won the World Series, right?
Okay.
And since you're an Angels fan, I'm gonna put it to you this way: who was on that roster in 2002 from the Angels? And don't give me the common ones. Give me the not so common, and give me 10 players, and we'll call it a win.
All right. So you don't want to hear the common ones. So no.
Not the common. I think the common we all know. So
Right. So let's see. I was 10 years old, man, when the Angels won. So I was still a little kid.
but you still
Uh,
remember. You still
I
remember.
still remember, man, because I started watching baseball in 1998, and that's why I fell in love with the game of baseball because I got to see the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa
Yeah.
steroid era. So steroids were the thing back then.
Right.
Let's see. I'm not sure if you knew, but in the Angels team, I can name you two rookies that became really good.
Okay.
John Lackey was one. He pitched the
Okay.
game 7 as a rookie. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we had John Lackey. Let's go with K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez was also a rookie.
Oh shit! I do remember K-Rod. Yeah, he
Remember? So
was a
he
rookie.
came up that season.
Wait, was he a starter then?
No, he was a bullpen guy. He was like the 7th, 8th inning guy. Because we had Troy Percival. I won't use him as my answer, but Troy Percival was the third, a closer.
Yeah.
And he was like the 7th, 8th inning guy, bro. He had the nastiest off-speed pitches out there, and nobody could hit him. And he was like untouchable guy.
Nice.
Our number one pitcher that season was Jerry Washburn. Remember that guy?
Yeah, Jerry Washburn. I remember. Yeah, he was number one, right? The number one starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. That's four.
That's four. Yeah. Let's go catcher, a backup catcher, Jose Molina.
Jose Molina.
Yadier Molina's brother was with the Angels as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Adam Kennedy. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. He hit 3 home runs in the ALCS.
That's number 6.
Number 6, huh?
Uh-huh.
This is getting actually harder than I think.
You got 4 more. Then just give me common ones. It's fine. That's cool.
Let's go harder.
That's what she said.
Let's see. Our first baseman was a rocker. He had a rock band. His name was Scott Spezio.
Scott Spezio. He had the wig, right? The red hair and all that stuff. I remember him. That's number 7.
Number 7.
Uh-huh.
I'm going cold now. Let's go. Our right fielder, Tim Salmon.
Tim Salmon, number 8.
Okay.
You got 2 more.
Should I go pitcher? Let's go Sean Figgins.
Sean Figgins, number 9.
Okay. And then the X Factor, the shortest guy on our team, David Eckstein.
Number 10. Ding, 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 ding. You got it.
Yeah.
Good, man. You got them all. All right. So I did ask you a question, too, before we started the show, and I wanted you to tell me who played on the Angels team in 2002, now has a son that's playing elsewhere, but he won the World Series with the Dodgers. Do you know who that is?
Oh, damn. He was in the 2002 team?
He was on the 2002 team.
The dad is in the 2002 team.
Yeah, the 2002 Angels team, and his son won the World Series with the Dodgers in 2020.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's a good one, right? That's a good one.
What? No, Karen. No. Dan, this guy must have been a bench player because there's definitely none of them. Damn, you got me, man. I can't think of nobody.
All right, so Cody Bellinger, dude. His dad played with the Angels. He played first base. He was switching off with Spezio. So
damn, I forgot. Yeah. I mean, I know he didn't really play that much. That's why he was kind of a role player. Kind of finally made the roster towards the end of the season. Just kind of split time with Spezio, but didn't really play much in the World Series.
Yeah, dude. And when I saw it, I was kind of like, wow, that's amazing. Like, so if you didn't know, now you know. That's why it's called the Did You Know?
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
That's crazy. Right. Man, what was his dad's name? Clay Bellinger?
Clay Bellinger, yeah, Clay Bellinger. He played for the Yankees as well. So
yeah, that's where I know he came from the Yankees. But I think he had 1 season with the Angels.
And that was it. That was the 2002. Yeah, that was a 2002 season. So they both got World Series. They're both World Series champions, and we might see Cody Bellinger go to the Yankees next year. We don't know, or he might stay in Chicago.
He's gonna get paid though.
He's gonna get paid. That's what it is. But that was a good one, man. That was a good one. So I know you have a Did You Know too. So go ahead and do that one. I just wanted to throw that one with the Angels since we were talking about the Angels. I think that was a good one, huh? So
I mean, 21 years since that last happened, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. All right, let's go into the Did You Know, and Ernie got this one.
All right, so did you know the Mariners back in 2001 considered one of the greatest teams to not win the World Series, one of the most winningest team in MLB history. They tied the 1906 Cubs with 116 wins. The record was 116 wins with 46 losses. Considered one of the greatest teams. That year, they had signed Ichiro to a 3-year, $14 million contract. Imagine that contract back then, Carlos, how cheap that is. Ichiro was the youngest player, not that young, but he was 27 years old coming from Japan after dominating over there the Japanese league. And there we went on a tear and were considered one of the greatest teams that fell short to the AL and the NL. Sorry, they fell short in the ALCS to the Yankees in 5 games. And unfortunately, they fell to the Yankee team that was filled with steroids out there with Roger Clemens and Tino Martinez, team that was too stacked for them. And if you looked at that, that Mariners lineup, a lot of people, when they think about the 0-1 Mariners, they automatically assume that Randy Johnson was on that team. that Ken Griffey was in that team and A-Rod was in that team. But actually, Ken Griffey left the Mariners in 1999. A-Rod left the team in 2000. They were not even part of this 2001 Mariners team. So it's amazing to see how this Mariners team with Edgar Martinez, Mike Cameron, what was his name? Carlos Guillen. Remember him?
Carlos Guillen. Dang.
And
Ichiro. He was with the Angels too, right? Carlos Guillen was with the Angels. Yeah.
For like a couple of years. And then their top pitcher was Freddie Garcia, a young 24-year-old kid with a nasty off-speed pitch and a fastball. And they also had the old school Jamie Moyer at 38 years old pitching for that team. So this team was a 116-game winner, the most winningest team in MLB history. And they fell short in the World. Didn't make it to the World Series, but it's one of those teams that considered by many one of the greatest teams in MLB history to not win it.
Dang, that's a good one. That's a great. Did you know that they've never gone to a World Series?
Yes, I didn't know that one. A lot of people don't know that. They've never made it. So, hopefully Seattle has this year. This Seattle team reminds me a lot of the 2001 team. It's just quite like not a lot of no-name players. Ichiro was a top player that year. He was Rookie of the Year. He came out killing it in the MLB, seemed very talented and surprised a lot of people. And he brought some stardom to Seattle and brought a different mindset to the Mariners team. Yeah, but man, it was good times in Seattle.
I think the Mariners are the only team that's never made it to the World Series as of right now. So every other team has made it to the World Series. So yeah, man, it sucks for them. And what you just said, I am the one that told you I thought Griffey was on there. I knew A-Rod wasn't because I think he signed a big contract with the Texas Rangers.
Right.
Randy Johnson, he wasn't on that team, and I thought that he was on that team.
He was with the Diamondbacks, remember, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because he won the World Series in 2001. So, like, I don't know why I thought that, but
and Ken Griffey was with the Reds.
He was with the Reds. His dad was there, too. He had the Aaron Boone and Bob Boone on that team as well.
Yeah,
they had the dad son combos, and they didn't do anything with it in Cincinnati either, which was kind of crazy to me that they had all these superstars there in the Reds too, and they didn't do anything with it. Yeah. And you had the Mariners that changed baseball. Ichiro. If you haven't seen Ichiro play or ever saw him play, I suggest you go onto YouTube and type in Ichiro Suzuki. He was really good. He was running before he even swung the bat on some of those. Yeah. Do you remember that swinging bunt?
it was a different style of baseball we had never seen in the MLB, and it changed the game a little bit. And it brought a new generation of Japanese hitters out here to the MLB.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. And look at Ohtani. And Ohtani now is like the powerful Japanese hitter we've ever had.
Yeah. And we're going to get to see him a little bit more longer. Well, now, because we're older, we get to see more baseball with him, and possibly the greatest baseball player to ever play the game in our generation and every generation. We'll see as baseball goes on. I have a question for you because we have a little bit of time. There's been a lot of things with the Hall of Fame, and we've been talking about the Hall of Fame, and is there any player that you think that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame? And I'm just putting that out there because we have a little bit of time. We can probably come back.
If I'm not mistaken, Carlos Delgado is not in the Hall of Fame.
He's not.
And I know he has like close to 475 home runs. And I feel like he's a player that should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Damn, that's a good one. I don't have one.
He has he's compared by people like Willie Stargell. Yeah. And compared to Fred McGriff, has very similar numbers, and both guys are in the Hall of Fame. So I wonder why Carlos Delgado's not in there. Maybe it's because he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, not a really popular team. I'm not sure, but these writers got to get it right and got to get it fixed, man. I think sometimes we got to go back and actually see if these guys should belong,
That's true. And Carlos Delgado was a good guy too. He was one of the guys that helped out a lot, helped the community a lot, and not just beyond baseball, right? You're thinking about like these players that are doing good. So Jamal just said, who reminds you guys of Ichiro today? Like, who's one of those players that does that? And Jamal, like, if you can help us, if you can answer that one.
Maybe I don't think nobody's out there. I don't think nobody's like Ichiro, man. He was just a different, unique type player. Once in a lifetime type player, man.
Dude, I just saw like a decoy of him. Like, San Francisco is Triple's alley, right?
Right.
And if it hits that wall, you don't know where it's going to bounce to. And he did like a decoy. He kind of made it look like he was going to catch it. He knew that ball was way over his head. He wasn't going to be able to make a play. He did a decoy, and they only got a single off of it. That's how much knowledge this man had out there. So,
dude,
right
this guy had more hits than Pete Rose if you combine his statistics in Japan and in the MLB. He had over 4,300 hits, if I'm not mistaken. So, great hitter, man. I think Chewy has an answer. He said Dale Murphy. I'm not sure. You probably got to watch.
No, Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy. I think he's calling that one from the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the Hall of Fame. But Ichiro, I'm just gonna say, who is? That's just I really don't.
Damn, man.
I really don't know, man. You got me there, man. Billy Wagner. Oh, he's another guy. Did he ever get 500 saves though? That's I think we talked about it once, and I don't know if he did.
I think he fell short.
He fell a little short on that one. But Willie Wagner was a big time player that should probably get a little bit of noise to try to get into the Hall of Fame. Jamal, you got us there, dude. I don't know who right now who reminds me of him. I really don't think I have anybody that I can compare him to. It's just I feel like Ichiro for me was one of those players where he kind of changed the game a little bit for me. And right now I feel like if there's players that are like him, I'm probably overlooking it because I already got Ichiro and I got to see that experience, right? And I feel like that's the norm now. It's the norm, and I'm overlooking it and overthinking it maybe. But if you're still out there, man, give us your player that you have.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man, that's a good one. Luis Arias, like I think that's his favorite player too, right?
Really? Has he said that? I know he's batting 350 this season.
Yeah, I think so, dude. I think he said, or he came out saying that he is a big time Suzuki fan. So yeah, why not? I will love that. And then Chu said that's right, Jamal. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Two people agreeing in the comment section, which is great. Yeah. He is a great hitter. He does get on base very easily these days, and he with the change of game pace, I think this guy's just getting contact pretty well, and it's getting on base like it's easy, dude. And I don't know how he does it.
Jamal, you got us there, man. I'm gonna give you some points on that one. Let me see if I have the point noise here. And now I'll just give you the
yes,
the yes button and some applause. Okay.
For sure.
That's a good one. You got us there. Well, guys, we reached that point of our show that we got to say bye. It was the Power Hour. I love the way that everybody's doing it. Oh, I just got a message here that said 61 stolen bases for Acuna. He reaches that milestone, 60 bases. If he hits the 30, he's going to be the first 30-60 man. And hey, more points for him to be in the MVP, right? Yep. So easily. Like I may say I still want Mookie, but I can't deny that this man is really great. He has 61 stolen bases, and pretty soon he's going to hit that 30 home runs. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen here at Dodger Stadium because everything happens here at Dodger Stadium. We probably get to see it on freaking Friday, which is going to suck, but it is what it is. Javi said Altuve earlier in his career. Altuve used to be really good. I agree with you. Like I in fantasy baseball, I used to be one of the first ones to be like, let me get a Jose Altuve, let me get him. So he kind of went down a little bit, but he's still an amazing player. Forget the cheating scandal and all that crap, but he's pretty good. He's really good. Right. And I do agree with you, Javi, on that one. He was one of those players where he was getting on base all the time, getting the batting average up and everything like that. So like I was saying, this is the point in our show that we're logging off. Thank you guys for those questions. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for the views. Ernie, last takes.
Well, I want to thank everybody for jumping in today. The comment section was lit this last 20 minutes. Well, I appreciate you guys for having all these conversations, make the show even better. Keep tuning in, and we'll try to bring the best content for you guys week in and week out. I know next Monday's Labor Day. Are we getting on?
We'll see. We'll play it by ear.
Let's see what the viewers want. You guys gotta let us know if you guys want to see us on Labor Day.
If you don't, I agree.
But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll try to see if not. We'll try to jump on Tuesday. But as playoffs approach, we're more excited to watch baseball with you guys and bring you guys the latest news and updates.
Yeah, and don't forget that there's a show on Friday, Javi and Will get on there. If he doesn't have them, I think Tony Snap will be part of the show as well. So we'll see who's going to come on. But don't forget to go onto that show. That's a fantasy part of our network. We're trying to grow this channel. So if you do see that video, make sure you like it, subscribe it, ask questions. These guys know their stuff. They're always on to point with the fantasy baseball. They're like us, they're baseball heads. And why not ask them? These guys have won championship in their respective leagues and won championships elsewhere. So they know what they're doing. So go ahead and ask them these questions. They know, and they can get you to that championship area. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.